Here we are, punters, back for part two.
Part two at the Emerald, back at the Emerald Boat. We're not at Shadow DK today, we're back on home deck in the Emerald Hotel.
I'll tell you what, DK, I am looking forward to a steak, mate.
Oh yeah? Yeah,
I haven't had a steak for a couple of weeks.
No, it's good. I think I was like that last time we came here, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So they do a great steak here.
And at the moment we're sitting outside and we're under the warm sun, and I feel like I could knock off about at least half a dozen pots without any trouble at all.
Just another 33 degrees in Mexico town today, mate, although it's how north of the border's going, but it'll be raining again up there soon, no doubt, in their big race meetings.
Yeah, heavy tens.
Anyway, speaking of watering and rain and tracks and irrigation, mate, I see Nick Williams sent out a cheeky tweet saying he needed to get home and ice his shins after walking the Caulfield track there on Saturday. I think there's been a bit of feedback, been plenty of feedback. I mean, he's obviously trying to stoke the fire as he is, but obviously you're the main track walker, mate. What are your thoughts and opinions?
I think that tweet got the short shrift it deserved, really. I mean, I think most people recognise it for what it is, you know. Look, it hasn't rained in Melbourne for God knows how long. 10 mil went on Friday, which takes 8 hours to put on. You know, what more can you do than that? You know what I mean? Like, you can't.
They lined it up to their all meeting, didn't they? The shear and the going stick was all in order and everything. It's
like raced, half a rating or so quicker than the all meetings. No doubt about that. They probably should have just called it a good 3 in the morning, and then there would be nothing to say. The track raced really well there on Saturday. It was slightly better to be off the rail, but
all the punters were tweeting how well it raced.
Yeah, it just raced well. The right horses
had their chance,
you know. So yeah, nothing to see there.
Nothing to see here. No. All right, we'll get on to it.
You know, really, like we've discussed a million times, the tracks in Victoria are outstanding. That issue was, since we must have had nothing to talk about a few months ago because it was on the agenda, and now that we've actually got real issues to talk about, like significant problems on trainers being caught doing the wrong thing, and we've got this $5 million race coming up that seems to be a bit of a novelty situation, and the tracks have drifted off the radar, as they should, because the track managers do an outstanding job. Jason Kerr did an outstanding job there, and it's worth noting that the last person to pot the Caulfield track was Darren Weir with Native Soldier, and the Karma bus certainly ran him over. So probably not a good idea, Nick.
Still having to deal with it in the bush though, Pots. Like 2 weeks ago, they're hitting the outside rail of Colac, Camberdown, Stony Creek of all joints.
Oh, that was weird. That Stony Creek one was bizarre. What happened there?
I don't know. Ben Allen sort of went out there on the shorty of because he was back and running on, and anyway, they hit the inside horse for Loro one. That's okay. And then the next two, they're hard against the outside rail for the rest of the meeting.
I can't ever remember seeing him on the outside rail at Stony Creek.
Never stopped being beaten at Camperdown for 15 years, never saw him there. Colac D. Unel just made a beeline there for the outside rail and race one, while D. Bates stuck at the inside on the favourite. But then here we go this week. I got Benalla. When was Benalla? Friday? But where could you win from there, Pots? Fence on 5.
Fence on racing there.
Yarra Glen Saturday.
Fence on
5. Like I don't know, what do you...
I would say, I did some stuff this morning for the last week, and I didn't actually sit down and calculate, but I would suggest that 2/3 of the winners last week raced in the first 4.
Since Stony Creek.
That's probably what should happen in summer on good tracks, I suppose.
All the best horses are trying to get the best spots, aren't they?
Yeah.
The best jockeys and best barriers, and it's all.
And particularly in those countries, most of the horses are moderate. If you get on pace and you keep going on a good track, it's hard to beat.
Some horrible beats on those fucking bias tracks. Anyway, I was getting to Caulfield as a Blue Diamond meeting, mate. It's
so one of the first points of note for me, DK, was Aaron Mayo. That was very interesting. Interesting ride there. Huey's had the usual.
Was it Hugh being Hugh?
I'm not quite sure why they didn't. I haven't reviewed this meeting fully yet, so I don't want to sort of nail myself to the mast here. But I was surprised he didn't hold a more midfield position in the first instance. He got further back than I would have anticipated, but he was in front of the eventual winner. And I suppose in hindsight, you look at it, you just say Ben Mellon just pantsed him. Ben Mellon took off on a horse that was travelling well, while Huey was still sort of,
which he can do,
sort of drifting off a bit, and and then he's gone, oh shit, and the horse has taken off, and he didn't immediately try and latch onto its back. He went looking for an alternative way through inside, which didn't open up. Then he went back to it, and he sort of flopped in the third spot.
Ralph just tweeted out he was pretty blank this morning, saying it was a slaughter. So But
well, the interesting part of that race, DK, is if the stewards want to go and have a look at the Betfair trade,
right,
that horse was around traded in the $4 to $4.60 range or whatever it was. I can't remember. It might have been shorter than I can't remember. I think it was that range, which means that in theory it probably should represent somewhere around about 20 to 25% of the Betfair turnover on the race. Yeah, I'm pretty confident it was well over 50. So one of the robots. At least one of the robots was very confident in opposing Arameo, which I think is interesting. So, and the other side of it, for it to represent over 50% of the Betfair trade, that means that on the other side of it there were other
people, which we like,
other big teams that were
plenty of people liked it, didn't they?
So that was interesting. That's an interesting fact of the race that when you line up the ride with the betting, I would think it's one the stewards would want to get to the bottom of, but maybe just whatever. But I mean, the winner's gone outstanding. The winner's a really, really nice horse. That's the first time he's put it all together. I mean, I think I might have had something on him on debut at Sandown, and then backed him at short odds.
The bed we're talking about?
Global Exchange.
Global Exchange. I remember him winning his maiden at Packham Synthetic. He's a nice horse.
There's one of Darren Weir's horses nearly rolled him that day, like a complete miserable.
I did, yeah.
Real misery guts, and it doesn't matter. Just goes to show you what a game it is.
Makes you think now, doesn't it?
It does. And so Global Exchange, a really nice horse. Arameo is sort of a bit of a middling type. Anyway.
Susain, the other thing was that.
Oh, Susain, like honestly, that's a sore point. No, I've got to talk about that because I don't fall into shorties very often.
Oh, you fell into it?
Well. When I did the race, I was keen to oppose Tin Hat. I don't want to talk about why, but there was a particular reason why I wanted to oppose Tin Hat. Yep. And so I'd marked Tin Hat $5. So I'd basically backed Susain on Friday, purely opposing Tin Hat, really. Of course, whatever, it gets sold. I mean, how often does a Godolphin...
When a horse gets sold to Hong Kong, what's going on there?
No, it gets sold, it comes out, and I'm left on Susain at $1.60 or whatever it is. And I'm thinking, and I've sent it out to my subscribers on Friday to take the 210. So I sort of can't take it off the betting plan, so I'm sort of left with it. And then as they're going into the gates, I've had my 7 or 8 units on it at an average of $1.60, and it's $1.40. I can lay it at $1.44, and I'm thinking I should just get rid of this. I don't want no part of this.
You do. You get that feeling when.
And I just thought, fuck it, I'll go down with the ship. And down I went. And everything. And I'm watching the race, and I just knew it was going to happen.
There's nothing worse.
No, you're going to over race. Turbium's got definite upside. He's done some really nice things. That horse.
Camp on Fire, another Camp on Fire there.
Yeah, there we go.
These stakes.
And so I just watch it go around and think, there's just another lesson.
That happens sometimes.
Killed again of falling into the
short. Into the short. Yeah, there's not much future in the short.
But on that day, if I hadn't have backed dominant favourites on Saturday, I would have stayed out of all the race. So I ended up not backing second Darabad because it was 5 to 4 in the morning. It ended up getting out to a more than backable price, right? But I left it. It's the only one I left off. I did back Elise because I thought she'd get out towards 2 to 1, and she did. And I was happy taking any price of Ilias.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
You.
Yeah. Just.
Well, you factored Pew into the price, probably, so barrier 1.
Yeah,
I
mean, a really good horse with acceleration can make runs. Yeah. I'm just sort of thinking
that's what he did. He just poked it through. He just took everywhere he went.
In the pre-race chatter with a good mate of ours, Phil Moyes. Well, there was
Phil,
highly anticipated train wreck coming there. And, anyway,
but he's got a love-hate relationship with that horse and that scenario, the Metropolitan and whatnot. Anyway, on your Phil.
So that was good. And so the 2 big races on Saturday, DK. So the Blue Diamond, was a very tightly rated race. Like really, there were 10 runners that I had between 2 lengths. I was trying to figure out what the race was going to do and who it was going to advantage and was there any betting value in the race. I ended up betting in it. I probably should have included Live, but it was a marginal price, and I sort of had it 4th, 5th pick, and I ended up, sort of almost hoping that I might race more efficiently, and it didn't. That backfired. So I got that race wrong.
Grand final trainer, isn't he? Just Tom Anthony Friedman. Those Shoals, centre in a lane. This thing.
It's worth talking about. I mean, the amount of Group 1 races that stable's won in the last 12 months for a fairly
Yeah.
Small stable's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, what an effort.
Yeah.
It's just an outstanding effort.
It is. Yeah.
But then I got on the other side of the coin. I got the Oakley plate
The man.
right. As I did the race, I just kept thinking the problem for Nature Strip here is he has to do it all on his own. So he has a rating here that mathematically is too good for this field.
That's right.
But he's going to do it all on his own. There are some very fast horses going to chase him. So there was the Toby Evans filly, I can't remember her name, and there was
Eduardo coming across, massive run Eduardo.
And there was Charge. They were going to carry the field close to Nature Strip on the home turn. And then I thought the peloton will produce. There were horses in this peloton that have got ratings that are within 2 lengths of Nature Strip. They're going to be able to cheat, and one of them will launch out of this pack and get him. Was my thinking going into the race. Now, so I'd sort of thought early on when he was 220, I'm going to oppose Nature Strip. Eduardo was a hard one for me because at that stage he was $10, and I easily could have assessed him like 5-1 if he'd had a 1,000-metre lead-up run. He was first up. He's an on-pacer. He needs a lead-up run. Going into that race first up at 1,100, in my mind, was a mistake.
Well, that's what you get with the. I mean, she's had good luck with good 12 place with that, but maybe a small Anthony Freedman or someone might have done that plus for a grand final training,
Particularly if that was their target race.
Yeah.
She might be thinking that the target race is a Newmarket.
Correct.
And then she'll be rewarded because I think now she's had a terrific lead-up run. So long as the horse stays in one piece and he's 100% right, he will take a power of beating him whatever he runs in. So I'm assuming it's the Newmarket. And we had an interesting email from Brian actually that I'll come back to about Eduardo. So the ones I really liked, well, I particularly liked Sprite.
Well, it was charging home late, wasn't it?
Yeah. Early on, it and Booker weren't far from each other. And Michael Walker Rees, which I can understand, he sort of did. He just lost contact with the peloton at the vital stage of the race, and she made up a massive amount of ground, and probably should have finished in the placings. But in the end, I also included Vidora. To me, if you run that race a lot of times, one of those 3 would get the right run. In this case, it was Booker. She just got the right run, and she's not had to do she's not been tested like Eduardo is. So being first up for her is okay. She's treated's probably an unkind word, but she's been carried into the race and then been able to produce what she produced. So well done, a good result all round. Backing her at 20-1 was a good, it was a much needed winner for me and my supporters.
That's always a good find, mate. 20-1 winner in a big race.
So there we go. So that was good. So I don't know what
else. Louise, was all.
That's it for Saturday. It was a good meeting. Really looking forward to Flemington this Saturday for the Guineas and then the
Tassie Guineas.
Yeah.
Good man coming over.
I can't wait to assess that race. Actually, it'll be interesting to see what price I can mark her because she says, the 3-year-olds are vulnerable and she's got something to offer. She's.
I think they've got to go up really safe with her. You would think, wouldn't they?
I think there's already a market out. I think she's in the 72, 4-1 range. Something like that. So anyway, we'll see.
That's on this weekend, and then there's plenty of good racing, isn't there? We might even come back and do an extra couple of shows.
Yeah, definitely.
Automotive's plenty on. Anything to follow off the top of your head?
Oh yeah, it was a Kamani first starter at Werribee.
Oh, they beat the Coco Diablo.
Yeah, rolled the $1.20.
Radical Condor.
Radical Condor, there we go. Just look like a nice horse.
Yeah, and so that's right. It's gone the line, beat the $1.20, turns at 5 lengths to third. Time's fine, yeah. So margin third, we like all that. But Matt Kamani, good trainer. I like backing his horses. So and Johnny Allen be hungry to, like Yendall in the Group 1. They are hungry to keep going and keep riding winners. Their main supporters not there.
Yep.
I like that 2-year-old maiden at Bendigo last Saturday. Normally Saturday provincials are not normally one you sort of tune into, but Bendigo is the nursery of champions, and this time of year they can some nice horses. So there was an even money chance of the Dolphin called Flip, which was even money.
Oh yeah.
And it got badly held up in behind, and the thing Fact and Fable, which is the second pick, and cheerleader at first out of Snowden's just skipped away, and they won by 5 lengths. Flip was getting home a little over, but they seem to run good figures to me, and I think.
Fabrication's a fair benchmark there, and they've run much better figures than Fabrication. Yeah, definitely.
Yep, no, I think those 3, Flip, Fact and Fable, and Cheerleader, all nice horses to me.
Very good.
All right, we'll be back. I think we'll be back next week,
We'll
mate.
be back next Monday. We'll do that for sure.
All right, good to see you.
Cheers, punters. Hope you enjoyed it.